Welcome to the weekly shir of the Zera Shimshon, and it's Parshat Pinchas, Chaf Tammuz, the 20th of Tammuz, Tavshin Pei Dalet. And it is a very interesting, I think, appropriate piece for this time of the year. Lachin emor hineni noisin lo as brisi shalom. Therefore, behold, I give my covenant of peace. Give him. So Hashem granted Pinchas the covenant of peace. Now what does this mean? The peace that was given to Pinchas is great, says the Midrash. The Midrash Rabbah, Bamidbar. Why did the Midrash say the peace that was given to Pinchas was great, and not Pinchas was so great that he was given the gift of peace? Would have been more appropriate. The Midrash seems to be implying that the peace mentioned here is different than all other types of peace, and this needs clarification. The Midrash continues, how great was the peace? For one thing, the entire world operates with peace. The Torah is completely about peace. Torah is completely about peace. When a person arrives at his destination, he is greeted with the word shalom, peace. And there are many additional examples. By the way, shalom also means complete, right? Wholesome, not just peace. Midrash began by stating that peace was given to Pinchas was great. Then it goes on to tell us that the entire world operates with peace. Doesn't this imply that all types of peace are the same? The Zera Shimshon explains with a fascinating midrash. Peace is so great that even if Klal Yisrael is worshipping Avodah Zorah, the Satan will not be able to touch them as long as they are at peace with one another. As it says, Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. That's a pasuk in Hosea. If they are fighting and disagreeing with one another, however, the verse says their heart has parted. Now they are to be desolate. Same verse over there. This teaches us that peace is incredibly important and that discord is terrible. From the words of the Midrash, it is obvious that the greatest benefit of peace is that it renders the Satan impotent and unable to harm us. It is equally clear that the world will not enjoy true peace, true and everlasting peace, until death stops being a factor in our existence. And as long as the angel of death is able to end the person's life, we know that we still have not achieved genuine peace. We therefore daven every day that the world be granted its tikkun, so that we may merit real peace. And with every day that passes and every prayer that we say, the day of our salvation comes ever closer. This is all referring to regular peace. The peace that was granted to Pinchas, however, was a genuine peace, one in which even the angel of death has no ability to get involved. How did this come about? Pinchas, you see, was himself transformed into an angel. Eliyahu, as is mentioned in the Midrash in Yalkut Shimoni, death was no longer a factor in his life. Pinchas did not have to pray for peace any longer, because he had already achieved it to the highest degree. We, however, still need to pray for peace on a daily basis. We can now understand what the Midrash was referring to when he wrote that peace given to Pinchas was great. Since the Midrash wants to stress that Pinchas merited to achieve the greatness and most genuine level of peace and not merely a lesser level. So says the Zera Shimshon in our Parsha, Pinchas and the first ice. And we need to be aware of that in order to bring the Mashiach for finally in our times. And we have noticed, myself and my wife, that in Israel, unfortunately, every time there's a protest, a disagreement amongst the Jews, then there's another terrible tragedy. And that should be avoided at all costs. All costs. We don't need any more tragedies. We don't need any more October 7th. We don't need to be attacked by the Goyim. Okay, we need peace. And that'll bring peace to the entire world. We need Mashiach Tzidkenu b'meira b'yameinu. Have a wonderful Shabbos.